In this walkthrough, we will cover the updates available to you with RepairQ 1.10. Included in this update are a new integrated printing system, supplier tracking upgrades, and improved special order parts support. First, we will cover automated printing. We spent a lot of time in R&D in 2015 and 2016 figuring out the best way to bring integrated printing into a cloud-based software system. And in RepairQ 1.10, we are very excited to unveil our solution for integrated printing. With integrated printing, you will be able to print directly to a paired printer without a print dialog using the printer settings you can configure ahead of time. Common tasks like printing a receipt after closing a sale can now be automated. To get started, let's take a look at setting up automated printing. Navigate to All Settings. Click on your Integrations settings. Click on the integration with the QZ logo. Click on the Download QZ button to download the QZ app to your computer. This will open a new window with a few download options for your operating system. Windows, Mac OS, and Linux are all supported. Download the latest version of the QZ Tray application. As of this video, the latest version is 2.0.2. Open the downloaded installer to install QZ Tray on your computer. The installer will walk you through the installation steps. For the sake of time, I will only demonstrate what this looks like on a Mac, and I will move through the steps quickly. Open the QZ Tray application on your computer if not already opened after the installation. You should see a small QZ icon that looks like a green receipt printer in your application tray when it is running. Make sure that is always running when you're running RepairQ. When you have the QZ Tray application running, check the box in RepairQ to enable integrated printing, and click Save Settings. Now you will see the new settings pages available for you. Printers, print configurations, and print automation. We will walk through each of these areas next. First, let's set up a printer in RepairQ. Navigate to the New Printers setting page. Click Add a Printer. The printer name option will be filled with the printer names for all of the printers installed on your computer. If you don't see the printer you're looking for, install it on your computer first, and it will then show up in the list. Select the printer you wish to use. Select the location the printer will be used at. If you have the same printer settings across all locations, you may set it up for all locations if you're an admin. Fill out the paper size, width, and height. Enter your margins. We recommend trying 0 for each margin to start out. Printer DPI is the dots per inch settings, and essentially controls the resolution of the print. In most cases, it makes sense to set this to the highest number your printer supports. Usually this is 300, or for thermal receipt printers it is sometimes 203. Check the printer specs to determine this number. Units of measurement allows you to pick whether the paper size and margin should be treated as inches or millimeters. Lastly, the orientation is where you can set the orientation of the paper width and height scale. and height. Scale to fit will scale the print job to fit the paper size, and depending on the printer you may or may not check this setting. Try it both ways to determine which works best for the printer. And save. You now have the ability to print directly to this printer without a print dialog window. Let's try it out. Open up a ticket, any ticket. You'll notice there is a new print button with several options. When you click on it, you will see each print template as a drop-down. Select the print template you want to test and it will show you all of your printers. Select the printer you wish to print to. Next, you should see a print status window that will show you the print job and the current status so you can track with the progress. Just hang tight while the print job is sent and the window will close automatically. And that's it. No more print dialogues are necessary. Now let's take it a step further and automate a common print job. The first step to automating print jobs is to set up a print configuration. A print configuration is just a collection of default printers paired with each print template. Print configurations are assigned to the computers in your store, and they allow you to pick the right set of printers for each computer. Navigate to your settings page. Navigate to the print configurations page. Add a new print configuration. Give it a name, which is simply a label used for selecting from a list of print configurations, so make it descriptive. Select the location. Next, select the printer you want to use for each print template. Since we've only added one printer at the moment, there's only going to be one option. Once you add more printers, you'll be able to select different ones from the list. And save. Next, let's assign our new print config to our computer. You must have a print config assigned for automated printing to work. Under the settings wheel, there is a new menu item called Print Config. Select that. When you select it, the menu option, a window will open where you can select your print config. Select the one you'd like to use, and when assigned, the window will show you the details of the configuration you have assigned to your computer. And then close. Now we're ready to set up a print automation. Navigate to your settings. Navigate to your print automation settings. Add a new print automation. Give the automation a name. In this demo, we'll create a repair intake automation to print a receipt and a repair label. Choose which locations to enable it for. Select the trigger. We'll choose ticket status change. Now choose the conditions that must be met for the print job to trigger. We'll select in diagnosis as the status we want our print job to trigger from. Next, choose the action which must occur for the print job to trigger. We'll choose when entering status, in diagnosis, and we'll want it to print a ticket receipt and a ticket label, and save. Now let's try our automation out. To try out our automation, we're going to create a new repair ticket and save it into the in diagnosis status. I'll fast forward ahead to the part we want to demonstrate. When I save this ticket into the in diagnosis status, our print jobs will be triggered automatically after the ticket is saved. So I'll click to save this ticket into in diagnosis. When I land on the ticket view screen, I will see a print job status window appear listing the print jobs in queue and their current status. I will hang tight until all print jobs are complete, and then we are all done. So that's automated printing in RepairQ. We look forward to seeing the new ways you streamline your business operations with this powerful new system. With the new supplier tracking upgrades, we are introducing several new methods for setting the correct supplier for inventory sold on tickets. These new methods are based on your feedback about how you would like to manage supplier tracking. Some of these methods are mutually exclusive, and depending on your business practices, you may choose one method or another. Supplier SKUs. The first upgrade to cover is a new built-in feature for supplier SKUs. Now you can scan a supplier SKU barcode. It will pull the item from inventory that matches the supplier SKU. So if you have a part that you source from multiple suppliers, RepairQ will automatically pull the matching supplier's part based on the SKU barcode you use to add the part to the ticket. This happens automatically and is the way we recommend as a best practice for enforcing supplier tracking. I will briefly demonstrate this. Here I have a part with items in stock from ABC supplier and XYZ supplier. 3 in each. Now, from a ticket, I will look up my item based on SKU. Notice how the item carries the supplier, ABC supplier, or XYZ supplier. The first one would be the first one to pull based on the FIFO, first in, first out inventory method used in RepairQ. Now watch what happens when I enter the item's supplier SKU for the supplier XYZ supplier for this item. Notice how it grabs the XYZ supplier first available automatically? Awesome! Now we can use supplier SKUs to pull the right model and the right supplier for the parts we use. Now we all know that sometimes inventory gets lost or jumbled during counts, reconciliation, etc. And sometimes you end up with inaccurate supplier records for the stock you have. So we added a new setting to help you with this problem so that you can still use supplier SKU barcodes effectively. In your miscellaneous settings, available to admins, you can turn on this feature. Look for the checkbox labeled Supplier SKU matches override supplier for new ticket item, even if no in-stock items for that supplier. What this setting does is that anytime you scan a supplier SKU barcode to add an item to the ticket, the inventory item added to the ticket will carry the supplier that matches the SKU you scanned, even if you don't have any inventory records in stock for that supplier. I will briefly demonstrate this. I'm going to leave the supplier SKU match override supplier box unchecked so I can demonstrate how it looks prior to checking that box. So here I have an item where I have 3 in stock from Mobile Defenders. I recently had a few in stock from eBay, but they were moved to shrinkage. Now here I am on a ticket, and I'm about to use this part, so I scan the supplier SKU barcode that is physically attached to the part that's from eBay. Notice how the supplier shown is Mobile Defenders, because the only items I have in stock are from Mobile Defenders. I'm going to remove this item, and now I'm going to enable the setting Supplier SKU Match Override Supplier. Go back to my ticket, and now when I perform this search using the supplier SKU, notice that it overrides the supplier to be eBay. Pretty cool. What this means is that you can treat the supplier SKU barcodes as the source of truth about the item you are using on a ticket, so that even if your inventory supplier records are off, they will always be corrected when they are used. Pretty cool, huh? Supplier manual selection. Now we know that not everyone can use supplier barcodes for all items, so we added a way for you to handpick the item as well. In your miscellaneous settings section, available to admins, you can turn on this feature. Look for the checkbox labeled Group Ticket Item Search Results by Supplier, dividing search results into separate line items per supplier. You may have noticed that when you look up an item to add to a ticket, sometimes there are multiple results or lines for the same item. In RepairQ, we break out results by condition and price. So if you have the same item in stock with a different condition or at a different price point, you'll be able to choose from each variation in the search results. What this new setting does is it adds a new breakout for supplier. Now you can view each supplier individually and select the appropriate part. Now let's demonstrate what I'm talking about. I'm going to leave the Group Ticket Item Search Results by Supplier option unchecked so you can view what it looks like prior to checking it and how it looks after it. Here I'm demonstrating a phone that I have in stock in both the new condition and in the refurbished condition. There's two different line items to choose from when I search for this item because there are two different variations in stock, as shown. Alright. Now I'm going to look up a different item. iPhone 6 LCD digitizer assembly. I only have one search result in this case because all of my iPhone 6 LCD digitizer assemblies have the same condition and price. I have some in stock for multiple suppliers, and note that it's showing Mobile Defenders as the supplier because that's the next item based on first in, first out. Now I'll go back to my miscellaneous settings and turn on the group ticket item search results by supplier setting. This time when I search, there are two options available for me. I see some in stock for Mobile Defender supplier and some in stock for eBay supplier, and I can choose based on which part I'm about to use. Even with all these new methods for supplier tracking, we know that mistakes still happen, so we have added yet another new feature called ticket item overrides. Managers and admins have the ability to override the supplier for a ticket item at any time to make corrections. You can also enable the supplier override capability for other staff members using a new catalog item setting, Allow Supplier Override. That would be found towards the bottom. This feature is also extremely useful for special order parts or miscellaneous items, but we will get into more detail on that in the next section. You have some new options here. As always, you have Bundle, Damaged or Defective, Waive Charge, and now you have an Override Item button. Click on Override Item, and it will allow you to select the specific supplier that you need it to be. And then you can save it, and it will pull that correct item from your inventory. Special order parts. Driven by popular demand, we have developed a few new features to help you with your special order parts tracking in RepairQ. With these features, you will be able to manage special order parts all from the ticket screen, and you can even do it without managing any inventory records. Before this update, there were two limitations for tracking special orders from a ticket without keeping inventory records. Number one, the ability to set the cost for the special order item, and number two, the ability to set the supplier for the special order item. Now you can do both. Let's take a look at how this works. First, we will look at how to set up a special order part item. You may already have one of these in your catalog, but we will demonstrate adding a new one. Navigate to your catalog, add a new catalog item, select the appropriate item type, set your manufacturer, in my case I will use NA, set the SKU for SOP for special order part, add the name, not going to make it repairable or inventoried, and I'm going to keep cost and price empty, default quantity is 1, and next I will check the two new settings boxes, allow supplier override and allow cost override. Enable these settings for your special order part items to allow your shift leads, inventory managers, and managers to add or update the supplier or cost for any non-labor items on a ticket. Now that my item is set up, we will demonstrate how to use it. So, here I am on a repair ticket where I need to special order a part. A ZTE ZMAX charging port is not a part that's typically done, so it's not in my catalog. So I'm going to open up my ticket and edit it. Already inputted my device and diagnostics. I also have a miscellaneous labor item that I'll use for bundling the part. I'm going to attach my price and bundle my item. I'm going to add my special order part SKU. After I've added it, I'm going to put a note in the description box. I'm going to put a description in the note box for what I'm going to be needing to order. As well as notate that in the labor field. Next, I can collect my deposit if I need to, add any other details about the part when I want to order it, but to keep the demonstration brief, I'm going to proceed with the next steps right here. When I go order my part, I will click on the Ticket Item Overrides button. From here, I'll enter my part cost, select the supplier that I got it from, save it. Now I'll save my ticket into my waiting for part status so that everyone knows that this ticket is waiting for parts. That's it. No purchase orders or inventory management is required to handle special order parts, and I can still track accurate cost of goods as well as the supplier RMA for RMA purposes. If you do wish to track special orders as inventory records, you can still do that too. That's all we have to demonstrate for RepairQ 1.10. We covered the new integrated printing system, supplier tracking upgrades, and special order parts upgrades. We've been working hard to bring these new features to you, and we look forward to seeing it serve you well.